are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing great, man. What's the weather like out there these days?
It's hot today. We had about an 88-degree day. It's been like in the 50s and 60s the last few weeks. Today's the first 80 day we've had, so getting nice for a change finally.
Yeah, it's actually a little cooler here for us, but it'll be warming up this weekend.
Yeah,
and
we're waiting for the big cicada invasion to start next week. We got a bunch of cicadas to come out. The 17-year locust plague coming out.
17-year locust plague coming out.
Every 17 years, Brood X comes out.
Oh well, I hope you're going to be hiding in a church somewhere.
I'll be hiding in the house. Those things are everywhere. I remember the last one; it wasn't fun.
Hey, I wanted to do a quick chat today and talk about some cool stuff. We've been seeing a lot of action right now on those WCW autograph cards from 98, 99 from Topps. Mm-hmm. But something, and we won't talk too much about those, but something I do want to kind of compare them to and talk about is that 2013 TNA Impact Wrestling Glory cards.
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorite sets. One of my favorite Glory sets, or one of my favorite TNA sets. Is the
what
Glory.
Makes that set kind of cool is that they had a subset in there of autograph cards that were specifically named on-card autographs.
That's correct.
Which we don't see a whole lot of. We didn't see a whole lot of it at that time. We're seeing a little bit more of it here and there with some of the current product.
They had a ton of sticker autographs, but then they broke down 18 of the cards and they made them completely different from the rest of the set, different looking. And they had actually on-card autographs in 5 different levels. There was like a, I can't remember, there was like a gold, a blue, a green,
yep,
a red,
there's
and a rainbow.
Yeah, golds are numbered to 199. The reds are numbered to 50.
Yes.
The blues are numbered to 10. The greens are numbered to 5, and then the rainbow is a 1 of 1.
That's correct. You got it. So total, if you got every one of them, you're looking at about 90 cards. But basically, if you get 18 of all 18, you've got, you pretty much got everybody's autograph.
Now, do you know I know that you're not really a price guide kind of person like that, but you do search the internet a lot looking for some of these cards. Do these cards carry any serious value?
The majority of them, other than the couple of big names, most of them are bringing around $80 to $100. The rest of them, like the Hogan, the Sting, the Jeff Hardy, and actually Brooke Hogan, they're bringing in $200-300. So they're the Hogans and Stings, you could probably stretch into about 500. And,
really? Okay.
Yeah. They're really hard to get, and it's funny because the ones I've found, I have at least one of everybody, and there's some I have almost the whole set of. But the Hogans and Stings, I found it easier to find the ones numbered to 5 and 10 than I did the ones that were numbered to 199, the ones that were numbered to 50. So, I have the lower numbered ones. Now I think I paid like almost 200 for the Hogan one. And it was only numbered to 5.
And that's kind of a steal today.
Yeah, it was. Now this was several years ago, because I've been collecting this set since the day it came out. I even they had a hot box in their case that would have 5 autographs in the hot box. And I actually got one of the hot boxes one time.
Nice.
So I pulled out some decent autographs out of it. And most of the rest of them, you just got like 2 autographs in the box. And then I went online because I liked it so well. I just tried to put together at least one of the parallel autograph sets. Never did complete it. I got one, I think I got the 18. So that was the closest I could get to getting all 18.
We seem to be freezing up.
One parallel level.
Gotcha.
Am I freezing up?
I did for a little bit there. We're good now.
Okay.
We're good.
Okay, good.
So the crazy thing about this is we have what we like sometimes call a trickle down effect on stuff. So it's no surprise to me to see something like a Hogan, getting more money today now than it did, just even a year ago. So I'm not surprised to see that some of the values of these cards are going up for Hogan, but I don't really see a whole lot of people talking about these cards being, it's a great list of people in this set.
Definitely is. Yes. Yeah. And that's why I just wondered eventually, will it ever get to the star power that the WCW set has? there's some big names in it. I don't know that it will, but if people find this set, they're really hard to find. I mean, anymore.
I think the WCW one sits on its own because it's a time period too. 98, 99, 2000 era was red hot wrestling time. So we're talking Attitude Era stuff at that time. And so, yeah, those names were going for big money back then. It's just really not only big names, but nostalgia. But there's some names here too, even though these people were not at the height of their careers, really, I would think. Do you think so?
Some of them were. Well, I guess maybe, yeah, like Mr. Anderson. He was still pretty popular then. Mickey James.
I mean, the list, since we only have 18 of them, so there's 18 people here. So what we have here is you have AJ Styles. Okay, we have Brooke Hogan. There's Bobby Roode. There's Bully Ray. There's Chavo Guerrero Jr., Christy Hemme, Devon, Gail Kim, Hulk Hogan, James Storm, Jeff Hardy. Was it Jesse Goddard?
Jesse Goddard.
There he goes. Kurt Angle, Mickey James, Mr. Anderson, Sting, Tara or Victoria, and Velvet Sky. What's really weird about the numbering sequence in these two is they all start with a G, and then and they're like G-AS for AJ Styles, except for Velvet Sky.
I didn't notice that.
Velvet Sky is numbered D-VS.
I never noticed that.
Now either that's a typo on the checklist information that I have, or that's just weird that it's numbered that way.
She's G. I got it right here.
Okay.
She's G.
So there we go. I'm glad we figured that out. So now I should write that on my notes and get that fixed.
Every one of them, yeah. Or have a G. The G standing obviously for Glory, which was the set.
And that's what I thought.
Yeah. And what's really funny too, the only one on there, everybody signed their full names, and they're actually pretty decent autographs compared to what they are today. Jesse Goddard's is the only one that signed his nickname instead of Jesse Goddard's. He signed his name, Mr. Spectacular.
Yes, Mr. Spectacular.
Yeah,
but at the same time, they paired him up with Tara at the time, I think, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I remember them coming to the Wrestling Guy store in LA together, signing autographs.
And they were, like I said, it's a really good looking set because they're all done in different colors, and the background color on them really is a bright, colorful color, makes the card pop. It just really is nice when you have all four of the same ones together. I think I sent you the Kurt Angle ones last night.
Yeah.
Set them side by side, and they're just amazing.
Yeah, they do look really nice.
Yeah, this is your gold color ones here. I don't know if you can see the background on them or not. And then you have the red background, which is pretty sharp.
Yeah, I love the flag.
And then you have the blue ones.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have the green ones. I'll show off the two best ones of the collection there, Hogan and Sting.
Yeah.
And
nice.
Those are the ones numbered to 5. Those are kind of my favorite set, the green one.
You got any one-of-ones?
No, not of the on-card ones. I have some one-of-ones from the sticker set end of it, but I don't have any of the one-of-ones. Other than a printing plate, I have one of the AJ Styles printing plates, which was an on-plate autograph. It wasn't a sticker on it. I don't have it handy right now, but it's a one-of-one. But every one of them had 4 printing plates, obviously, and they autographed all of them too.
It's a really big set. That's like kind of right in the middle of when they really started making some big assets.
Yeah, it was.
Because
every year they released, it got bigger and bigger. It just grew. They were monsters towards the end.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of don't miss that really. Well, in a way now, since my collecting mind has changed over the years, I've really I don't mind the parallels. Like before, I thought they were kind of a joke and they were kind of wasted space, but I get the allure of them now. And because there's less of them, I kind of want them more than I want the base set stuff.
Right. And something that I never really thought of, but I was talking with Zan here a couple weeks ago, and he made an interesting statement that I thought was pretty cool, is that the reason that they might be putting out all these extra parallels is because there's more people that are just player collectors than set collectors like me. So if somebody's a player collector, they're putting out these different parallels so people can put just rainbows of that together, and they put them out for the player collectors.
Sure.
And then they put out the whole sets for people like me who's a set collector. So I don't necessarily need to chase all the parallels. Now I understand the parallels are more for the player collectors like you.
Sure. Yep. Yeah. And that's what I am now. So, anybody out there's got some Kurt Angle parallel cards, I'm all for them. The set's growing and growing and growing. So I've got a couple more that came in the other day, which is funny because I was just talking about that earlier. I got that one that came the other day from the Tops.
Oh yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
And so it's numbered to 99 in the back. And so I'm looking at the other day, and I got to go, this is so cool. Yeah, Kurt Angle returns to join the WWE Hall of Fame class 2017. And I'm reading the bio on it, and all it is about Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho.
Error card.
Again, so now I'm seeing firsthand, like what you were saying before, even on social media, talking about, hey, how many times are you guys going to screw up, writing the wrong information in the back, and here it is. It's hilarious.
They've already done that on one of the living sets already, one of the living cards already.
Really? Which one? The living one?
It was Sami Zayn and Edge, the set of Sami and Edge. Edge was correct. Sami Zayn's had Edge bio on the back.
Ah.
Yeah.
Quality assurance is not their strong point, is it?
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Are there any of the ones, no matter what, from the 18 that come out, are there any of them that you find that are harder to come by than the others besides the Hogan and Sting?
Besides the Hogans, and actually Brooke Hogan, she's very difficult.
No matter what level, correct?
No matter what level, Brooke is really difficult to get. But I would think Mickey James is really easy to get. Angle's really easy to get. Both the beer money, Storm and Rude, sure. They're pretty easy. Jeff Hardy's getting a little difficult now to find because he's so popular. So a lot of his is hard to find. Actually, other than the big stars, no, most of them are pretty accessible. I'm just really surprised at Brooke Hogan taking off the way she did because she's really difficult. I hunted a long time to get hers. And
top of my head, I can't remember it. Is that her first signature from that series, or was she signed the year before?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember.
It might have been her first, but I don't remember. I don't want to commit to that and say that and be wrong.
Because she was only in the company for a minute. It seemed like.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine.
She had that thing going with Bully Ray.
Yep.
And then when she left the company, they had Brooke Tessmacher take over because her name was Brooke. So every time Bully would mention Brooke, then Brooke Tessmacher stepped in instead of Brooke Hogan.
Oh.
So
that's one way to make sure you don't mess up your girlfriend's name.
Yeah. But it's just, like I said, I like this set for two reasons. Number one, it was the last TNA set that TriStar put out. So that's kind of a little historic thing. And number two, it's the first time TNA really did on-card autographs, and they picked such a big names to put into that set. The people actually signed decent autographs on it. They weren't just the scribbles or the initials like we're seeing today. The stars actually took time to put some effort into their autographs here. So that's what I really like about this set. It just really, because a lot of the stars in here I really like. I'm still a big Mickey James fan. I met her one time and I just fell in love. She was just the nicest person I could meet. So I've collected a lot of her stuff. And when I got all four except for the one of one, I have all her cards, the green, the gold, blue, and silver, and red. And she has such a flowing, big, just a really nice looking autograph. And of course, she's been in the news a lot lately for nothing really nice.
Yeah, well, being released and then being sent your stuff in a garbage bag is probably not the nicest thing ever. But
I'm proud of her for speaking up and calling them out on that.
A lot of people are, which is good for her.
And Jeff Hardy, he's a big name, so his cards are actually bringing in some big bucks. So between both the Hogans, the Sting, Jeff Hardy, those are your Kurt Angle. They're going to bring in some money, but most of them you can pick up from anywhere $80 to $100 online right now.
For me personally, I don't see those cards really ever touching the value or the nostalgia of those 98, 99 WCW autographs. That's just, it seems to be a much more iconic set. And
It is.
quite honestly, the value of that old set is becoming something that we haven't seen in the card industry before for wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really want to go, dollar for dollar against any of their card set, Raw, we're talking Raw. I mean, can you imagine someone went out and got all these cards and they had them all graded too?
Yeah.
I mean, start collecting all the graded stuff. I mean, 101 different graded cards. I mean, that stuff would be astronomical. I mean, just Raw, we're looking at tens of thousands of dollars you're talking about.
Oh yeah. I don't know why these aren't getting the love they deserve, because I think they do. I think they're just a decent set.
But what about them specifically? Because they're on card.
Yeah, well, that because and the star power that's in it. I think they got some big stars in there, and I don't understand why these names aren't pulling in bigger numbers. I mean, I'm glad they're not, because they're easily accessible to me.
Yeah.
But it's just I'm really surprised people aren't chasing, or you don't hear of people chasing them as much as you do the WCW stuff. So
Yeah, I mean, the checklist exists what it exists, but to be honest, most people send those checklists to me, and then they just pretty much just a copy and paste and put it up on the site and format it to make it fit. So actually, I don't own anything from that set personally. That's not during my time of collecting at all, so I don't own anything. So I'm someone who isn't really aware of that card set and the star power that's in it, and I didn't realize it was the last TNA, card set put out.
Yeah. And I didn't know it was going to be the last set when they put it out. I don't think it was ever promoted as being our last set. It just came out, and then
that's kind of the thing with that's kind of the thing with most people. Most of them. I mean, no one ever put out that this is our last set for Fleer. This 2000, Diva set.
Yeah.
This is our last set from Comic Images. They don't really announce that kind of thing. I mean, they lose a license, they move on. I mean,
the base
no
sets
one's
for
picked it up.
base sets for most of the TNA aren't really that impressive, but their autograph makes up for it. The autograph listings when their sets really make up for it.
Well, let's go beyond that. Let's go beyond that set then. So all of TNA products, they made some really good looking cards from, I mean, I got that Kurt Angle one. One of my first cards I got when I decided I was going to collect Kurt Angle cards was that, relic card they had. And it's a huge piece of swatch. It's not like the little tiny square you get like on some of the top stuff. It was a huge piece. It's
another
really
thing they did is they took the oversized ring mats, put in a card, and had the people sign it. The same people who signed these autograph cards also did the mat cards. And they signed them on the mat. And there was only one variant on those, and that was Bully Ray. He signed one as Bully Ray WHC 13, World Heavyweight Champion 13, and he signed one as Bully Ray A's and Eights. Because he had a little group called the Aces and Eights. And that's the only variant to that. But they're pretty sweet looking cards, and they paralleled all them too. I don't know if you can see. I don't know if you can see them or not.
I'm actually watching a couple Kurt Angle ones right now that I'm interested in, but it's kind of waiting.
But yeah, there's the two different Bully Ray ones. I don't know if you can see them well or not.
I see the Ace and Eight. I do see that. Yeah.
And that's the only variants they made. All the others were just, there's your Kurt Angle one right there.
Yeah, I think there's one number to 50 and then number 99. I'm watching a couple of those right now.
This one's numbered to 10. This is the blue parallel. It's numbered to 10. So, and it's the same 18 people that signed the mat cards that signed the on-card autographs. So that was kind of a neat little crossover.
Now they have there's also dual autographs in there, but those are all stickered.
Yes, everything else is stickered. Just your mat cards and these 18 on cards. Everything else is stickered. One of the sticker ones I got was actually a 1 of 1, and it was a four autograph card. I pulled it out of the box. I was pretty proud of that one. And
which one was that? The blue variant, or I mean, which one is that one?
The 1 of 1 was a rainbow variant.
Oh, rainbow variant. Nice.
It was a 1 of 1. Pretty sure I have that available. I can find it real quick without losing everything. Yeah, here it is. It has Mr. Anderson, Devon, Wes Briscoe, and Garrett Bischoff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it's got the 1 of 1 on the back. So, and I actually pulled that out of a pack. I was pretty excited about that.
That's a great pull.
That was. I like it when you can pull one instead of just going online and buy it. You know, you open the pack and there it is staring at you. It's like, wow.
Yeah, there's some fun in that, some real fun.
Yeah,
it's
it
always
is.
like a mystery. It's like, you know, what am I going to get? Then you pull something like that, you're like, this is what it's all about.
They used to have a lot of card shows at our mall up here before it kind of went belly up. And one of the guys, a guy that a dealer still deal with, he would set up a booth, and he would always make sure he had wrestling cards at his booth because he knew I would be buying. And I would go in one day and I'd buy 2 or 3 boxes, and I'd come back the next day. It's like, oh man, I got some really good stuff. You got any more of those? He would just, yeah, I brought them. I knew you'd be back. You know, I think I ended up buying 10 or 12 of the Glory boxes, and I ended up getting the one hot box that got all his autographs in it.
That's awesome.
So,
yeah, so I don't know. Time will tell to see if that card set starts. I mean, I would assume that it'll probably go up in value, but I don't think, my gut tells me that it's not going to hit the frenzy and craziness that the WCW cards are going for these days.
mm-hmm.
I just don't see it happening. But far as,
but
you know,
again, who thought they would back in the day? Who thought those would, you know?
This is true. This is very true. I mean, do we need another, 10, 20 years from now to find out if these cards start going? I think as time goes on, unfortunately, when some of these people start to pass, there's just no more of them anymore. So, there's going to be no more signatures out there. So what's out there is out there. And maybe the values will start to go up on some of those too. I don't know. It's a really strong lineup of people who are on card autographs. I'm looking at a few of myself, just again for my own PC, but yeah, I was totally unaware of some of the stuff like that in that set, and I didn't know that was on card. It's really cool.
Yeah,
they put out some really good stuff. I mean, from their swatches, they had multi-signature cards, and they were doing that before Topps was doing it.
Yeah.
They were having just a lot of cool higher end things they came out with.
Mm-hmm. And TriStar, one of my favorite female tag teams in TNA was the Beautiful People, and they had this little gimmick where whenever they beat one of their opponents, they'd take a paper bag and put over their head and draw a face on it. Well, I got one of their cards that has a piece of that paper bag embedded in the card.
Nice.
And I thought that was just a cool little relic. It was something different from what. And I have a Sting one that has a piece of his baseball bat embedded in the card.
So they have one with face paint too, right? They have one with face paint as well, right?
Yeah, I got 2 of his face paint ones, and they're both authenticated. They have the little raised stamp on it. What do they call it? I forget what that kind of marking is, where you put the little.
It's an embossed stamp.
Yeah, yeah, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And with the COA on the back of it. So I think one of them I got numbered to 10.
That's pretty cool.
It's a pretty sweet looking card. He did one with the black face paint and one with the white face paint, and I have one of each.
I think the TNA cards have, through all the years they put out cards for TNA, which I think started in 2008, I think.
Yes, 2008 they did 2, and then from there on it just went crazy. From 2008 to 2013.
2008 to 2013, they put out multiple sets per year. They had various weird ways of releasing things too, if I'm not mistaken, where they had hobby box, you had retail, you had, I think there might have been a few, I don't think there's any rack packs I'm aware of. I can't remember. But they had they had convention exclusives, like the national exclusive type stuff. You can only get this card at national if you bought a box, kind of thing. There was even for a while like a Hogan set you can only get from someplace. I remember correctly.
I can't remember a Hogan on that, but
or there's certain Hogan cards you can only get from somewhere.
Yeah, I have that. It was a difficult one to get. That was with the Icon set. When they did one of the national conventions, they gave 500 boxes, I think, to the national convention. And in those 500, they stuck assorted autographs, I think 5 or 6 different autographs in those boxes. And you just got what you got. And Hogan's, I guess, was short printed. There wasn't near as many of his, I guess, as the others. I managed to get all of them.
Oh, nice.
It took me a while. I actually got 2 boxes that were from the convention. It even had a little sticker on the box saying, look for the exclusive autograph in this box. And I think there were 8 cards, and I got all of them. but they were really difficult to come by. So I think they'll bring in some value. And they even, when they put out their video game, TNA had a video game.
Mm-hmm.
If you bought the video game, there was a set of 5 cards in the video game that you couldn't get anywhere else other than inside the game. And I bought the game just to get the cards. I never did play the game. Wasn't really into it. But,
yeah, what did I buy? Topps did that once with their Legends promo one. It had Bobby Heenan and how would you get that? That was it from a book? No, it wasn't from a book. It's from a video game. I think it was from a video game.
Yeah, it was. I remember that one.
Video game.
Yeah.
It's I think a 5-card Legend set. I think it was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got those too. Yeah.
Yeah, those were. I think I only bought the game. I didn't even own the system the game came with. I just bought the game just for the cards. TriStar put out a lot of great stuff. I remember when Paul put out his price guide. The back page is an advertisement for TriStar release.
Yes, it is. Uh-huh.
I helped him get that back page thing from TriStar. I had been talking to Jeff Rosenberg a few times over the years when they first got the license to clarify some things, get some information that, hey, the checklist says this, but never actually came out like this. Is there any that are variations we should know about? And he was pretty good about giving information, stuff like that. And I remember when Paul was looking to try to find something for the back cover, he wanted something back there. I talked to the lady there that worked with Jeff, and we worked out a deal where we got that, ad put on the back of his book for him. Mm-hmm. Worked out really nice. Yeah. So, there were a bunch of good guys over there at TriStar. They were really helpful for stuff, and I wish I would have kept in contact with them over the years.
I really kind of miss the TriStar product. It was just a nice thing. I don't know why that kind of went by the wayside.
Yeah, I don't know what, the licensing agreement just went away. Sales were slow. I don't know we never really get to find out, real reasons why things don't happen. In the WWE Raw Deal game stuff, Comic Images had a great game, for Raw Deal, and it just kind of went away. People say, because sales were low. Some say certain versions of the game kind of killed the game, the interest. There's all kinds of reasons. I mean, but bottom line is the license wasn't renewed, and that's how it was,
Yeah, I got a lot of decks of Raw Deal that's still unopened, still sealed plastic. I probably got about 15 decks.
Oh, someday I'm gonna get those. Someday I'm gonna get those from you someday.
Someday.
Someday. So, I mean, outside of the Glory one, are there any other TNA sets that people should be aware of? You think that should go after?
Well, I was impressed with their second set. It was called Cross the Line.
Cross the Line.
Yep. Cross the Line.
That's the advertisement we got for Paul.
Yeah, and it was
that wasn't it.
They had some really decent autographs in it. I mean, this is 13 was the first time they ever did on cards, but Cross the Line was a pretty impressive looking. So even the base cards were nice looking. I like them, and even their parallels popped a little bit. It's not one of those that just have maybe a little something to show the difference. It actually had a really big noticeable difference on their parallels. So yeah, Cross the Line was a pretty decent set for me too. I really liked it. I didn't like the TNA 10 set very well for their base cards, but they had a lot of nice swatch cards and insert cards and autograph cards. So that set was a decent one if you were after the specialties out of that set. The base cards they just weren't quality at all.
What do you think about the knockout sets?
About the knockout set?
Yeah, what do you think
I liked it. Yeah, I liked it. I think I have most of the autographs out of that set too. And then they released what did they call those? There was an extended set on those. There was a basic set of 99 cards, and then from 100 to 125 were short printed. The set continued up to 125, but those last 25 cards, they were called Revealed. That was it.
The Reveal set.
Revealed. And they were very scantily dressed, the wrestlers, female wrestlers in the set. And they continued the set from card number 100 to I think it was 125. And those are harder to get. Those are nice looking cards. And they actually had nice autographs. I think that was the first Dixie Carter autograph too out of that set. And not that she's a big name now, but I still liked it. I thought it was a pretty decent autograph to have.
So that was
They
all
did a
one.
lot.
That was all one set though. Back in 2009, I think it was the TNA Knockouts trading card set because they had a base
Yeah, it
set. I
was.
think that ran only to like 90 cards, like 89 cards plus a checklist.
Yeah, and then after 89 or whatever the checklist was, 90, there was like a 91 to whatever that was called the revealed.
Yeah, the
A lot
reveal
of
set.
people, but it wasn't a separate set. It was a continuation of the base, but they were
Yes.
short printed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's called Revealed, and it was from 90 through card 107.
Okay. Yeah, I knew there were several cards after that. I just didn't remember the number.
So you had, they call it the Revealed exclusive, they call it. So that was 90 through
Yeah.
107. Then they had a silver parallel, a gold parallel, a purple parallel.
And they were hobby box only. If you got the retail boxes, you can get them. They were hobby box exclusives.
Yep. And then they had, of course, all your different levels of like, your different parallel versions of like, what's called the top drawer single event use stuff. And
and I don't know if that was a set or not, but one of their sets, they actually did cards where they pulled a piece of the hair out of the I know your story on that, but they actually pulled a piece of hair out of the head of the female and embedded it in the card. And I think they did Velvet Sky, and I can't remember who the other one or two others they did, but they had hair cards, but they were short printed to like 5 each. There wasn't many of them.
From that, was it from that set?
I can't remember if it was from that one. It was one of the earlier sets. I don't know if it was that set or not.
I can't remember what the name they called that.
Because I just, what was it called?
I mean, I'm looking at the checklist for that set, by the way, right now, which is 2009. And that set itself, if you want, that is a massive card set. Because not only are you done with all the knockouts, but then they had like the male, like they call mail call autographs. They had all the mixture of female and male talent together.
Yeah, I think I have the one with
signature curves,
couple of them.
Signature curves, singles, duals, autographs, quad autographs, and then parallels of all those things. You had a black base printing plate, all your different printing plate. I mean, you had all these different things that were just incredible. It's just a massive card set. I feel like I feel like I've been scrolling on this checklist since last Thursday. It's just going and going and going. I really forgot about this set too. Again, it's in a time frame that I wasn't a heavy collector at all. I knew about stuff, but I just didn't collect.
There's Severus, the collector cat, behind me.
What do they have? They have a thing on here called, there was a cards numbered to 12 only, lips, leather, and lace redemption cards.
I don't remember that one. I didn't get any of those.
Lips, leather, and lace redemption cards found in hobby box and revealed boxes. Cards are not numbered, but each includes a TriStar numbered hologram with unique number for authentication verification purposes. Angela Love, Velvet Sky, Christy Hemme, ODB signed, and Kiss 12 baseballs. That's what they were. Interesting. A lot of interesting stuff. I mean, they put out a lot of stuff. I mean, so much stuff. It's like it's mind-boggling how big those sets are, just because of parallels.
And it's surprising how many big stars were really in there too that came over to TNA. TNA created a lot of their own big stars too. I mean, there's no doubt about it. You had your AJ Styles, you had your James Storm and Robert Roode. You had, there was a lot of Samoa Joe. They had some really big stars that are still relevant today. And I just think some of their early stuff may end up, being collectible down the road. TNA stuff the base sets are still pretty readily available, pretty inexpensive, and they're worth grabbing hold of.
Yeah. Do you think that there's any hope ever that we might see another TNA card set or some sort of mix maybe with AEW someday? I mean, since they're going that direction, I mean.
Yeah, well, since they're now with they're TNA's kind of melded into Impact Wrestling now.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, and with Kenny just took the Impact title the other night, Kenny Omega. So I'm thinking as heavily as they're going into this crossover thing, I would hope there would be an interpromotional card set somewhere along the line. That would just be amazing. I'd love to see that.
I would like to see that as well. I think, I mean, it seems to be the only way we're going to see any current Impact stars being featured on a card, going forward, unless someone's going to start doing some indie stuff for them,
Mhm.
I just, who knows? Cause we posted this question once before, I think on Twitter once, and I'd asked about that. And someone just said, there's not enough talent out there. That's mainstay talent with Impact to warrant making a card set, just because it's just kind of a turnover. It seems like a lot of turnovers going on over there.
Mhm. But they get a lot of very popular name turnovers. I mean, they've
Sure.
got some good names coming in and out through there. And maybe when they do this, if and when this Impact set or this AEW set ever comes out, maybe they'll do a little subset or an insert set of, the crossover wars or something like that,
Yeah.
and something like that, just to get exposure. Because believe it or not, I've watched some of I wasn't really into the Impact until all this shutdown started, and I started seeing a few of the shows, and I was really impressed. I mean, Impact really has some performers on there. It's hard to watch without the audience.
Yeah.
For me anyway, but I kind of just block that out and just watch the talent, and they've really got some good stuff going on there. And so I think it deserves a little more recognition than what it's getting right now.
Well, we hope to get some recognition in the trading card world. That'd be great, huh?
Oh, that would be. Yeah. We got to get them back in there, because I said a lot of their stars are still in these old TNA sets right now.
Someday I think we'll sit down and we'll go through, and we haven't done a release breakdown in a long, long time. And that wasn't the whole premise of this particular, chat, was just really to kind of talk about the on cards from that Glory set from 2013.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I think someday we'll probably go through and do a quick, breakdown of some of these sets. I think, because I think they need to be talked about. There's a lot of interesting and cool stuff, and all of the TNA stuff, all of their stuff they put out had some aspect of that set that made it kind of really cool.
Yeah.
And I think it gets overlooked a lot. And if you're a Hogan fan or a Sting fan and say, well, I can't afford some of that older WCW stuff or WWF stuff, I think that those TNA and Impact stuff might be a place for someone to go to and want to get into. They're probably a little cheaper because it's, not the big guys. It's, Impact.
Mm-hmm.
Could be an alternative for people.
Look at AJ Styles now, and he has stuff all over the place.
Yep.
He had autographs, he had swatches, had autograph swatches.
Are you seeing his stuff from his Impact TNA days? Is that stuff gone way through the roof value wise?
Not through the roof, but it's moving up.
Oh.
Yeah, it's making some waves.
Do you think that I would think that those kind of cards, because his first on card stuff was 2004 Pacific.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have 4-year gap before you got the first TriStar release to put out some kind of TNA.
Sticker.
Yeah, sticker. I know that the Pacific stuff is going for good money because that's the first stuff. That's basically rookie stuff, you want to call it that.
Mm-hmm.
But I would probably think that the Impact stuff would probably be, our TNA stuff is probably going to go for better money than I think his WWE stuff would go for. Is it not happening? I mean, I'm not sure. I don't research AJ Styles.
Mm-hmm.
Is it? Have you seen it?
Yeah. AJ seems to be moving very well. Yeah, he's a big deal.
As far, do you think his Impact stuff specifically, would his Impact stuff be selling better than his WWE stuff?
Some of the early stuff, maybe the 2004 stuff would, but probably not his sticker stuff. His stuff from Glory, maybe. Yeah.
That's some good looking stuff right there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And again, that's a good point, because people are going to forget that's the only on card signature he has from all from TriStar stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And most of his, it looks like most of his.
People's forgetting about the TNA stuff because everything else going on now and all the new stuff going on, they're forgetting about this TNA stuff. And there's some love to be given to these sets. So there's some nice stuff there.
Yeah, I think someday you and I and maybe we'll find someone else to jump on with us, and an old school roundtable type session where we'll do a release breakdown and talk about one of these sets and kind of individually and kind of go through them all.
Sure, that'd be great. I'd love to.
I think people need to, kind of go out there and revisit some of these. And I think they'll be pleasantly surprised to find some really cool looking cards, some big names on some really cool looking cards. And if you're into parallels or you're a player collector, it's like that. Some of these guys that are big over in WWE, don't forget where they came from. Some of these guys came from Impact and TNA, and there's some good stuff that you can probably find there. And I hope anybody who watches this, if they have any comments about what they feel is their favorite stuff, or hey, yeah, you're right, or you missed this, comment. Love to hear the comments about any of these releases, especially this Glory set.
Definitely, yes. That's it. Favorites.
So you seem to be all over lately. I've seen you on social media a lot. I see a couple of interviews with you going on out there. Where can people find you?
Right now, I'm just mostly on Twitter. Chuckster on Twitter.
Okay.
I joined the Discord channel, but I don't visit that a lot. I spend most of my time on Twitter, and that's about the best place to hit me up. So
yeah, a lot of guys on the wrestling trading cards. There's a Discord channel devoted strictly to wrestling cards called Wrestling Trading Cards. Yes. It used to be WrestlingTradingCards.com. Now it's just Wrestling Trading Cards. It's a lot of guys in there talking, buying, selling, trading, talking some NFT stuff, talking about, things they saw, like I guess the new Treasures thing, WWE's new Treasure show. And they're talking about how, did you see that quick little snippet? They had 82 All-Stars in there.
Yeah, I've watched a few of those.
Yep. And so yeah, there's great places. Yeah, you can find Chuckster everywhere. He's everywhere. He's a popular dude now. I mean, look at this guy. He's went out and got a haircut and everything because he's got an image to maintain now. But it's always a pleasure to have you on, sir. And I know we'll have you on again many, many more times.
Sure. Well, I enjoyed this talking about this set because, like I said, it's just kind of one that's close to my heart. I love this set. And
cool, guy. So you can reach you on Chuckster. You can find me, us, WTC, everywhere on WrestlingTradingCards.com. Site's coming up, being redone as we speak. I'll be back on it again late tonight again as usual.
Yay.
Taking a break tomorrow. I'm going to go to Sedona for my anniversary tomorrow. So,
yay.
But that's it, guys. So until next time, we'll talk again soon, Chuckster.
Okay, thanks. Nice to see everybody again. Take care.